Hi guys, Shelly here, Healthy Homestead Chick, and today we're in the garden. We're going to talk about how to know when to start cleaning it out. So when do you know when to call it? When it's time to take them out and start planting the next round. Here it is August and it is time to start planting our fall garden. But look at these tomatoes. They are taller than I am. It is loaded with romas. And these guys are going to stay. Over here, these are my Brandywine tomatoes. These are the ones, my first tomatoes that I picked out of here were 2 pounds each. And all of them have been really big, nice sized tomatoes. But now, the tomatoes are smaller. There's not a whole lot on here. There's a few in there, but it's definitely not loaded. This plant, if we look down here, we're starting to get some disease. Oh my goodness, look at this. Squash bugs. Oh my word, they're everywhere. And that's why this plant looks like this. I hate those things. But it is the end of our season. It is time for them to be everywhere, and they are. By this time, you just kind of give up the fight. So these tomato plants, those are 2 words. Tomato plants are going to come out. We're going to clean this bed out. I'm going to go get some water with Dawn dish detergent in it. And I'm going to capture as many of those as I can and throw it in there so they don't overwinter here. Sadie's here helping me. Hi, Sadie. Say hi. Let's see what else. Now the okra is a hot weather plant and it is just now starting to produce really well. So the okra gets to stay. And if you didn't know, okra has beautiful flowers. Oh my goodness. Can you see the bee laying inside there? He is laying on his back. There's an ant. Just hanging out. I think he's drunk on pollen. See if we can focus. There we go. Yeah, I think he's drunk. But anyway, okra does have beautiful flowers. I really enjoy them. What I don't enjoy, ants really like okra. So I have to wear gloves in here or these ants will just eat me up whenever I'm picking the okra. And the beds that have sweet potatoes, these are going to stay. These are my new beds this year. The ones that I've really had trouble with. And part of these are going to stay, part is going to go. This squash plant I'm going to leave here. It's probably not going to do anything because squash bugs, like I said, they're everywhere. Tomato plant is going to go. I'm going to leave the watermelon in and just see if we can grow anything. You see the flower there. So I'll leave that and I'll leave the sunflowers because they make me happy. We do have corn up there. We have 2 stalks growing. And Doug is just hoping and praying that the corn actually forms. And we get something. Sadie heard something she doesn't like. This tomato plant is going to go. All the tomato plants that are up here in this section are going to go. And like I said, I'm going to leave the sweet potatoes and let them do their thing. But the tomato plants over here really didn't produce. The soil that I bought was awful. And so we need to amend a lot of that. The comfrey gets to stay, of course. The eggplant is going to stay because it is still producing. This tomato is going to go. I'm going to go ahead and pick all the tomatoes on there that are ripe, but we're going to let that one go. I want to show you my fig trees. Look at this one. Now, we went to see Shane at Kinfolk Farm last year. I think it was October. I don't remember. And he just cut a little stick that was probably 10 to 12 inches long. He cut me several of them off of his fig tree, and I came home and tried to root them. I got 2 to live, and this one is loaded with figs. Now, I know as a gardener that I should take that fruit off and just let this continue to pour energy into the root system, but I just can't do it. I'm going to see if those things will ripen and I can eat them. This tomato is going to go. Now let's look over here. It looks like a jungle, doesn't it? So I've got these cherry tomatoes. That one is going to go. And I've got this larger plant. This is from Sandy at Suburban Homestead, Wyoming. And she grew huge tomatoes off of these seeds. And so she mailed me the seeds, and I'm going to let this one grow because it hasn't really produced that well for me. But just because they're sandy seeds, I want to see what we can get out of it. This is my watermelon that I am just babying. I'm praying that this makes it and we get to eat it. And I'm so excited because I can't get watermelons to grow. This is the true jungle. This is more like a forest. This is one. Let's move the sheet. This is one huge plant. This is the little cherry tomatoes, and I've really enjoyed them. I normally don't even like cherry tomatoes, but these have been really good. But this plant needs to go, or at least be thinned back to where I can harvest the tomatoes without just like having to dive into the plant. I've got holy basil growing here. This was self-seeded from last year, but this is where our trombocino squash was. As you can see, it's pretty much dead. It has grown over here and has rooted again. And it grows up with my green beans. There's a green bean. But I'm gonna clean this bed out. We have some cayenne peppers. I'll probably leave those. More trombocino squash. I think that's gonna go. I think it's pretty much done its thing. I've got, well, it has blooms. Makes it so hard when it has blooms, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. I want to clear this whole bed and plant in here today. What about the green beans? They're gonna stay. One thing, they're just beautiful. They make me happy. Another thing, there's blossoms all over it. So we should be getting more green beans. And I really don't have anything else that I need to trellis this much for fall. Look at that green bean. I have another trombocino squash growing in there. I'm going to leave that. But green beans get to stay. So how do you determine what stays and what goes? Really, it's personal preference. Now here, in our climate, we're close to Memphis, Tennessee. If I leave all the tomato plants in, I will probably get a second crop. Just depends on how the weather cooperates. As you know, it has been super hot and super dry here this year. And my tomatoes have done well. The majority of people have not done well with their tomatoes. But whether or not you take something out really is personal preference. You can begin taking things out whenever it starts dying back, or just whenever you've had enough. You know, if you have 100 pounds of tomatoes and you don't need any more, go ahead and take them out. Make room for what's coming next. There's one of the tromboncino squashes. And I've got another one planted there in the tire. I haven't done a really good job of getting my fall garden in on time. I've got a sneeze. Hang on a second. Whew, I'm back. So I haven't done a really great job of getting my fall garden in a timely manner in the past. So I'm really trying to make an effort to do it right this year. And that means sacrificing. So some of these plants that are really doing well are going to have to be sacrificed. But like these tomatoes, I've gotten so many of them. And these are like the huge slicing tomatoes, which is great. But there's only so many that we can eat here. The Romas are a different story. Those are the ones that I want to can. Now, I know that I can can these, but they're just so watery that it takes so much time to cook out the water. The Romas are ideal for canning. So I'm fine with leaving those and getting rid of these. But really, it is a personal preference. You need to decide what needs to go. You need to decide, you know, maybe your beds aren't doing that great and you need to amend them and get them ready for fall, or even amend and get them ready for next year. Just depends on what you want to do. Now, I'm going to be planting some purple hull peas, and I'm fully aware that I might not get a harvest out of them this year, but I need them to add nutrients to some of this soil that's in really, really bad shape. So I'm okay if I don't harvest. I'm still getting use out of them. And those purple hull pea plants can always go to the animals. Pigs like anything that's out here. The chickens and ducks like a lot of this stuff. So really nothing is ever lost. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, but I just kind of wanted to show you exactly what I'm taking out, why I'm taking it out, show you what I'm leaving and why I'm leaving, so you can make an educated decision about what to do in your own garden. So I hope this helps, and I hope you guys have a great day, great week, and we will see you next time.